Hello, welcome back. Thank you, as always, for joining me today. Every time we have a conversation about A Course in Miracles, it seems that it always comes up how simple these ideas really are. And they are, in fact, simple. We ourselves introduce all of the complications, starting with our telling ourselves it's got to be more complex than that. You're not a body? What do you mean I'm not a body? There is no world, huh? God is. What? There's got to be more to it than that. Well, no, there's nothing more to it than that. We add all of the complications ourselves, and as a result, we obscure truth to ourselves. We're getting in our own way, and this is one way of taking a look at that phrase, getting in our own way, that so many spiritual traditions talk about. This is one of them. And without saying it in those words, that's what's going on. We're impeding ourselves and we're cutting ourselves off from truth. We're cutting ourselves off from experiencing the truth of who and what we really are. And you heard already that it's not a physical body. You've always known that anyway, whether you actively choose to acknowledge that or not. So the choice is yours. If it feels like this course puts lots of choice right back on you, oh yes, it does. It's your choice as to whether you allow truth to be just as it is without any of our interference, or whether you choose the interference and choose to hide. It's your choice. God or the ego, the Holy Spirit or the ego, life or death. That's your choice too, yeah? Light or darkness, truth or illusion, many ways to look at that. It's the same single choice. And the reason, like it or not, that we say that these ideas, these very, very simple ideas, are hard, they're complex, they're difficult. The reason we say this is difficult is because we don't want to do the work. We're afraid of our own awakening. We're drawn to it. We are. We're drawn to it as a moth is drawn to a source of light. Seriously, we're pulled in to truth and attracted to it because it's who we are. So yeah, we're attracted to it. Yet at the same time, here in this weird dream of ours, we also appear to be mortally afraid of it, fearing that it will crush us into oblivion. Well, that's the ego talking. Always afraid, and it's only correct about one thing. And Jesus tells us this in the Course. The ego is correct in assuming that you're going to set it aside and deem it unworthy of you. Yes, you will. Will it be today? I don't know. You have the opportunity right now to do it. And you have the opportunity right now again to do it. That's what the present moment is for. It's all we have. So what if you chose the ego yesterday or even just now? Choose yet again. You have the opportunity right now. If you say you do not have that opportunity, you're choosing, you're exercising the power of choice. Unfortunately, in that situation, you'd be exercising it on behalf of the ego, further separation, hatred, blame, condemnation, rage, pain, and fear. Ah, same thing that we say we want to set aside. Happily for us, A Course in Miracles gives us something proactive to do. Forgive. Forgiveness, as the Course teaches us, is our function here on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock. It's the way that we set aside our condemnation and blame, our continued belief in separation and division. It's how we see through it. It's how we set it aside and look instead at the truth of who our brother is, because that's who we are too. So, while we continue to condemn, while we continue to cherish our attack and judgment of our brother, we're failing to recognize that God is in him, and we will not be able to recognize that he is also in us while we continue to attack his chosen home, i.e., our brother. While you continue to attack, you do not wake up. Put real plainly, very simply, there is no awakening while you condemn. That sounds perfectly obvious. The problem that we appear to run into here is entirely of our own making, is that we want to cherish certain forms of attack. We want to continue to blame certain people for our plight, whether that is a regime, whether that is our ex, our boss, the government, whatever that may appear to look like for you. It's all illustrative of the point that we want to cherish certain forms of condemnation and hatred. We're okay with forgiving everyone else, but this one person or this one group of people because da 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 da, all the things, and we list countless things that they've done to us, or that they're going to do to us, or that they're currently doing to us, etc., etc. You see where we're going with this. As long as we continue to cherish this, our forgiveness is not total. Therefore, it is not at all. It's either total or it's not at all. Now, that is a very grown up thing to accept. And spirituality is for grown ups. You wouldn't be here if you weren't a grown up. We're invited to act like them, I know. Really. Truth is very simple. We introduce all of the complications ourselves. And as we forgive, as we make the choice, the present moment choice, to listen to the Holy Spirit and His guidance, the guidance of Jesus, the guidance of our inner teacher, your guide or guides, call it whatever you want to call it. It's part of our mind. As we choose to listen to this guidance, more and more habitually we become accustomed to hearing it, we'll be instructed as to what to do. The opportunities for forgiveness will pop up in our experience. They'll be right in front of us, front and center. We cannot miss them. They're obvious once you get used to it. And until you are, understand that anything that is not wholly and completely joyous, anything that is not total joy, is an opportunity for forgiveness. So, yeah, all the condemnation and blame of regimes, of bosses, of governments, of people in these weird, illusory positions of power and stuff, all of that. Yeah, all of the condemnation and blame is an opportunity to forgive. All of it. And we can't recognize that God is in us until we let down our guard and forgive and set aside our condemnation and blame of our brother. That's how it works. Your brother's not a separate being. He is you. Literally. Literally. There is no separation of any kind. That is why it is 100% accurate to say, as you see him, you see yourself. You may be familiar with the famous passage from the Bible, love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, this is expressing that exact same thing. Why? Because your neighbor is yourself. Your brother is you. Would you condemn and blame yourself? Or would you love and forgive yourself? That's the choice. The outcomes of this to our mind are vastly different. It's tempting for us here on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock to think that our acts of forgiveness will have zero consequence. Well, they have a lot of consequence. They're very important. Understand this, that the Course does not aim for us to change events in the world that appears to be outside of us. It doesn't aim to effect changes to the scenery of life. It's not about making changes in the world. There is no world. We're perfectly at home in God, but we don't realize it. We're awaking to that. We're waking up to that. That's why enlightenment is called awakening. It's as though we're waking from a dream, which is what's going on. That's exactly what's going on here. We allow the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher, to guide us. And because it's not about effecting change in the world outside, it's about our mind. It's about changing your mind. Your forgiveness is extremely powerful. You're changing your mind rather than filling it with hatred, guilt, blame, rage, and fear. You're filling it with love. What then happens? You see more love. You become more aware of it. What's going on is we're removing the barriers to our awareness of truth. The introduction to A Course in Miracles puts it this way: we're removing the barriers to our awareness of love's presence. Yeah, yes. The more we remove the barriers, the more aware of truth we become. That is a major game changer. I mean, that's really about all we can say in words. A major game changer. You will not look at things the same way. If you don't think forgiveness works, I invite you to try it and keep trying it, but really do it. Only you'll know if you're really doing the course. People are famous, and we've all done it, for saying, okay, yeah, I'm doing this, but we're not really doing it. We're just kind of going through the motions and pretending to do something here, and maybe we'll forgive here, but condemn the rest of the day because we can. This is an adult endeavor requiring our commitment, which is why every act of forgiveness is so important. It is a miracle. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. Sentence 1 of chapter 1, section 1 of the text of A Course in Miracles. It's how chapter 1 leads off. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. What does that mean? Your forgiveness of a passing cloud for blotting out your sun and annoying you for a fraction of a second is the same as forgiveness of historical dictators, present dictators, and would-be dictators, present regimes, and all kinds of other stuff. All miracles are exactly the same. All expressions of love are maximal. So you think it doesn't matter? Think again. It matters greatly. Let that sink in today as you go forth and forgive, forgive, forgive. It's what we're invited to do and called to do. So you know what to do. I thank you, as always, for joining me. And I hope that from these conversations, you get some clarity around what this course says and what it means. And more importantly, that you get some sort of inspiration to practice, or you get the urgency of practice. That's how we learn the best. This is a self-study curriculum, and one of the benefits of this is that we go at our own pace. We allow ourselves to be led by our inner teacher as far as we're willing to go on a given day. I mean, you could put it a little more nicely than that. It's really about our willingness, but you could say, should you choose, as far as we are able to be led on a given day, yeah, whatever works for you. Yeah. As far as you're willing to be led today, you go that far under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and then you do it again tomorrow and the next day. You will not see things the same way. It's already too late for you to go back to the way things were. You know that. Why would you want to go back anyway? Because you weren't happy, or you wouldn't have sought spirituality. You wouldn't be what we call here in the world a spiritual seeker. Huh. There's no going back. You could stay in this stuckness kind of state where you're suffering greatly, or you could forgive, forgive, and awaken. That's the choice. So you're invited to join me. Questions, by the way, are inevitable. If you've got them, you're certainly not alone, and it is a valuable part of the spiritual path, no matter the tradition. I mean, in that sense, A Course in Miracles is no different from anything else. Questions arise. In fact, on a good day in spirituality, you may well find that you have more questions than you do answers. I think we can all relate very well to that one. So if you have questions, I am here to serve as a guide for you, and I'm happy to answer any and all questions that you may have. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do that. The prompt is here in the corner of your screen. Click that icon, and you'll be invited to join us. Please do that. And I will see you here again on the next video.